Hey Spurs fans, welcome back to another episode of GSG Nation. Today we're going to be talking about the Spurs' potential starting five when healthy. I know Devin Vassell is out to start the season, but he's going to be included in that starting five list of our potential starting five. But before we get into that today, I hope everybody enjoyed Media Day. I think Media Day was great this season. Honestly, it got me more excited for this upcoming season. It got me more positive about the season. And there was a couple of things that I really thought stood out that I really liked about Media Day. The first thing is I just liked what everybody had to say. I felt that everybody said the right things, the things that we as Spurs fans wanted to hear. And the main thing that everybody seemed to be on the same page with is that we're we're coming out this season to get more wins. We're coming out to win this season. And everybody was on the same page with that. Everybody said that that was the main goal and what they're focused on. We didn't hear any, well, I'm working on personal development. I'm working on, learning a new skill set or learning a new position. No experiment talk. No, self individual. This is what I'm trying to work on talk. No, it was everybody was just focused on winning. And that's what they were talking about. So everybody was just saying the right things yesterday, which got me really excited for this upcoming season. I hope you got even more excited as well. Hope everybody liked what they heard because honestly, I don't know what else they could have said to satisfy us, to be honest with you. So the fact that everybody is more focused on winning this year, I think is a great thing and a great way to start the season. The other thing that I really liked about what they were saying was what Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, had to say. And honestly, you could just, from their body language to their facial expressions, I really like that you could tell how excited they are to be in San Antonio. And not only did, we pick the Spurs, like they also picked the Spurs too. It just shows like great sign of respect for this organization. These guys really look excited to be here, excited to play on this team. And another positive that they said was that they're not here just to help develop guys. No, they're here to compete and they're here to win. And Chris Paul is here to play. And he's here to, put in minutes and put in work throughout the whole season. And hopefully he stays healthy enough to where we get to have him on the court majority of the season. But those are just great positives. Is that everybody looks excited this year? Everybody looks ready. Um, Honestly, like I honestly think that everybody is gonna step up their game this year. I think that everybody worked on what they needed to work on in this offseason, at least the majority of the guys that we needed to do so and make changes. I think that they did do that. And just with the additions of Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, I mean, we're going to see a tremendous difference this season and how the offense is run. And yeah, I mean, just even on the defensive end. So this is really good stuff. Media Day should have got you hyped. There was just nothing but positives. Everything is just looking up right now. It's a huge blow that we're going to be missing Devin Vassell at the beginning of the season. But he did say, I think he had surgery on his foot at the end of June. So he's had a little bit of recovery time, even though we all feel like, yeah, maybe there's been plenty of time for you to recover. But good news is that he said that, hey, his foot is feeling better than it did at the end of last season. And maybe that was the reason why we didn't see so much production out of him last season, was just because of that little ailing injury in the foot, which is a huge deal for athletes, especially basketball players. But I think just the positive that we can take away is that the foot is feeling good, it's feeling stronger. He seems to believe that, and I think that by November 1st he'll be ready to roll. Early November. I don't think there should be any setbacks. If everything goes according to plan, obviously there shouldn't be any setbacks. It didn't look like he should be out long. And he's already in the gym, so that's good news for us. Another thing that I loved from media day is that you could really tell from these guys' facial expressions and just the way that they're talking, smiling, laughing with each other. Like these guys are already bonding, and everybody's just getting along, and it looks like we have a really good group of guys. And the fact that Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes both agree that they really enjoy the group that we have, and they're impressed with certain players and just how everything's run. That's just nothing but good signs. So that's another thing that I really really was happy about and just glad to hear from our veteran players, and just knowing that I'm sorry, just hearing that Chris Paul mentioned that the guys are already in a group chat. I think that's awesome. I think it's amazing. Season hasn't even started yet, and these guys are already bonding. And that's something I know that us fans were a little concerned about, because we didn't really see much of Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes in San Antonio in the offseason at all. So we didn't know which guys are practicing together, working out together. But it seems that everybody has been getting that work in at the Rocket La Cantera, and looks like they've been hanging out, they've been working out together. So the camaraderie should actually come earlier than expected, I feel, and that's awesome. Another thing to be excited for this upcoming season, definitely. Overall, I'm happy with what I saw, with what I heard from all the players. Looks like we got a good group of guys, and I think this team's going to be much, much better this year than it was this past season. And everybody just really looks ready to go and excited to get the season started. And it doesn't look like just the bad times, the bad memories, doesn't look like that's carrying over into this season with the guys. And I think that is just great. So with that, I think everybody should also be excited. And let's go ahead and get into today's episode. Okay, let's get started with Chris Paul, who's obviously going to be our starting point guard. The whole reason we brought him in, right? And actually, too, the whole reason that he also chose the Spurs, because he was looking for a place to play, not to ride the bench and not to put in less minutes. And in San Antonio, he's going to get playing time, and that's exactly what he wants. And that's what he said. He loves basketball. He if he's gonna be away from his family, he better be playing basketball. And so playing time is definitely very, very valuable to him, and that's what he's gonna be able to get from San Antonio. So, and even to RC Buford, I did attend one night this summer, a at the Spurs Club. It was an event with RC Buford, just a Q&A with him and some Spurs Club members, and I was lucky enough to get in there and be invited by a friend. And RC, I did get to ask RC Buford what he expects out of Chris Paul out of this, or no, I'm sorry, I asked him what Chris Paul expects to get out of playing with San Antonio this year. And RC said that Chris Paul is looking for a home, and obviously that means somewhere where he's going to be able to stay, compete, get playing time. And that's here in San Antonio. This is one of the few places that he was going to be able to do that. And I think that it's a great pickup for us, especially for the deal that we got him at. But definitely Chris Paul is going to be very huge for us this season. Very, very vital, very important. And I think that we're going to see a huge difference from this team simply because we have him running the point for us. His skill set's going to be invaluable. His leadership mainly is going to be invaluable to this team on and off the court. And, him being brought here to instill that winning culture again back in San Antonio, him and Harrison Barnes, I mean, that's one of their main jobs, and is to instill that winning culture back to San Antonio, help these guys get used to winning, and hopefully get us back into the playoffs and get these young guys playoff experience. We're going to see a completely different offense this year simply because of him. Somebody who's going to be able to run the offense, run the pace that we want to run it at, be able to control the pace of the game. And that's exactly what Chris Paul is going to do and what we're going to see this year. It's going to be completely different. He's going to help so many guys develop. I mean, Devin Vassell is going to be able to develop. Wemby, I mean, just everybody. The whole squad is going to be able to develop simply because of his skill set and leadership. And we all know that he's injury prone, and we don't know, for how long he'll be out if he goes down. But it's almost a guarantee that he does miss some time during the season. And if that does happen, hopefully that happens at the right time to where, um, you know, to where it's not a tough part of the schedule, because we're really going to need him. And honestly, hopefully that does not happen early on into the season, because I think that it's very, very important for us to start the season off strong. And I think that in order to do that, he's going to need to stay healthy. Really everybody's going to have to stay healthy in order for us to start the season off strong. We're already down Devin Vassell, so and obviously any more setbacks, any more injuries early on is really, really going to be detrimental to us, I think. But so if that were to happen, hopefully we can get 60 games out of him at least. Anything less than that, oh my gosh, that's really bad. Even 60 games alone that's missing a lot of games. Or there's 22 games that he's missed, that he would miss if he only played 60 games. So hopefully we get about 65 to 70. And I think if we got 70 games out of him, that would be incredible. And I think he'd be really pleased about that as well. My prediction for Chris Paul this year would be about 10 to 12 points, 7 to 8 assists. Of course, that's if everybody's healthy majority of the season, and that's if everybody improved as well. But I think those would be really good numbers for him to hit. Just looking at his past numbers, even on better teams, he still wasn't averaging double doubles. So at the beginning, when we first got him, I thought, hey, like, it's very possible that Chris Paul could average a double double, and I mean like a simple 10 and 10. But just with the setback of Devin Vassell missing the start of the season, and Chris Paul simply just not averaging double doubles on better teams, I don't see him doing that this year for us, even with Wemby. But I do think that if we can get him in the 10 to 12 point range and the 7 to 8 assist point range, I think that those are good numbers for him for this team. I think that keeps us competing, and I think that would put us in a good place for playoff if he's averaging those numbers throughout the season. And I think that, obviously if he's able to get to those numbers, that means that the whole team must be doing pretty well. And if that's the case, if we're on a roll, you can expect that we're going to have Chris Paul on this team past the trade deadline, possibly into the next season. But we get those numbers out of him, I think we'd be in a really good place. I think that those numbers are perfectly fine for him. Again, he hasn't been averaging double doubles in the past, so I think it's going to be a little bit tougher for him to average double doubles, on this team with a little bit less and younger talent. But I don't think that he needs to keep us competing. And I think that even in his old age, he could just really contribute to this team. He can be a factor in this league. And I think that we're going to see a different Chris Paul coming into this next season. Really excited. Really, really excited to have him on this team. I think we got him on a great deal. At first, I was really hesitant about going after him, and then as soon as I saw the actual deal itself, that's what really got me excited. Just really positive, and I thought, like, wow, what a steal, what a good thing for us in this organization. But with him wanting to get playing time and us being able to offer that to him, obviously we're gonna get the best Chris Paul version that we can get out of him, and hopefully that keeps him happy, and hopefully he stays healthy, and hopefully we can actually keep him for another year if everything works out really well. Hopefully it does work out really well. But I think most importantly, his leadership is very, very valuable, and our guys are going to learn a lot from him. All right, next up is Devin Vassell, who obviously, when healthy, will be our starting two. And what a major blow to start the season, hearing the news that he's going to be out the whole month of October and will be reevaluated November 1st. Major, major blow. However, I still think that the team will be okay for him to miss October, and I don't think that will be too far off. I don't think that he'll miss much time after November 1st, especially if there are no setbacks. So I don't think that he'll be gone too long. But, people are already labeling him injury prone. Me, myself, am not quite sold on that yet. I don't think that. And, I think the Spurs will be just fine if we can get him to play 68 to 71 games this season. Last year he played 68 games. Year before that 38, but that's when he had that major injury. He's already going to miss 5 to start this season. So the max that he'd be able to play this season would be 77 games. But I think, 68 to 71 games out of him. Anything more than that, outstanding. But I think we'll be okay with that. I think this year from Devin, I think this is the year we're going to see the formation of his complete game offensively and defensively. Like everything is just going to click this year is what I believe. And especially bringing in a point guard like Chris Paul, Devin's not going to really have to bring the ball up too much, facilitate, whatever Devin is best at, he's going to be able to actually practice, work on, incorporate out on the court this season because we have such a great point guard now. So I think this is the year where he could really be in talks for most improved player if he stays healthy, though. That is very important. He's got to stay healthy, but I think this could be the year. Yeah, if we see his complete game and he stays healthy, this could be the year that, maybe he does win most improved player, which would be amazing for us. For Devin, number-wise, we're looking for 48 to 50% from the field. 48 to 50% from the field and 38 to 39% from the three-point line. And that's going to put him in the top tier list of shooting guards in the league. And that's that's the jump that us fans want to see from him. And with those kind of numbers, that's good talk for some most improvement player of the award. So if he can maintain that 48% field goal percentage throughout the season, if we can maintain that, we're competing. The Spurs are competing, and that means he's rolling too. So I really think that it's important for him to hit that high field goal percentage, close to 50%, but 48% is very, very ideal. And if he wants to make that jump and take that next step for this team, he's got to be right there. Minimum 48. Free throw percentages, we need major improvement there. We need about 88%. And now these are numbers for him to be in the top tier list of shooting guards in the league, which is obviously that's what we want out of him. That's what we're hoping for so we can keep him long term. That's the deal. Wemby, Vassell, Sohan, hopefully Keldon, like we want these guys long term. So if he can hit these numbers, then I think he's on track for what we want to see from him. But free throw percentages, I think that he needs to shoot 88%. This past season, he shot 80% from the free throw line. He missed a lot of free throws too, where we could have kept momentum that we had in the game, but he's missing 1 or 2 from the free throw line. That's killing our momentum right there, and that's killing his confidence. And you could see like his frustration when he's missing those free throws. And I think it's very important that he makes a big leap in that category. So 88% from the free throw line is what we really need for the team to take the next step. Last season, Devin averaged 19.5 points, but we can get him averaging 20 plus this year. Again, that's another factor that will keep us competing. Helps this team go into the next step. We really need him to get into that 20 plus point range, alongside Wemby, because if we can have two guys that are, averaging 20 plus points a game, killer. We would be killer. And that's what we're looking for. Devin's on the trajectory for that. Each season, his points per game has improved. And just last season, he's at 19.5. He's almost right there at 20. So I definitely see with a better point guard this year, more veteran leadership, and just us being able to take care of the ball more, I think we're going to see all these numbers increase. I think we're going to see everybody's numbers increase, but yep, 20 plus points a game. I can see that this year from Devin Vassell. Moving on to Harrison Barnes, our other veteran, who I think will be in the starting lineup to start the season. I think he'll be at the 3 spot for us. Man, guys, listen to this. This man is durable. The past 2 seasons, he's played all 82 games the past 2 seasons. Wow, that's very impressive, especially at age 30, 31. Wow. Uh, talk about durable. Talk about a great pickup for this team. Somebody that we really need. We really need a veteran that is not injury prone, a veteran that's going to be able to be on the court throughout the whole season, providing that leadership that this young team desperately needs. And this guy's a winner. This guy is a winner. Since, high school to college, playing at North Carolina, to the NBA. This guy, he's an NBA champion. I believe he's a gold medalist as well. He's an incredible player. High IQ, gonna do wonders for this team. I mean, his leadership and just his basketball IQ is what's gonna be most valuable for this team. In crunch time, when it is a close game, best believe Harrison Barnes is going to be on the court with us alongside Chris Paul. We're going to have those two guys on the court in crunch time in a close game, being able to take care of the ball, not turning it over carelessly, knowing the right play to make, the right shot to take, the right pass to make. We're going to see a completely different offense just because of him alone, too. Harrison Barnes is going to be incredible for us. He's going to help us out so much. That new offense that we're going to see, he's going to be a major factor in that. And I think that he's going to stay healthy. And that's the good news. We're going to have him on the court for a very long time. So what a great pickup this offseason. I'm very happy that he's on the team. He's a really, really good player. He's not your all-star, but he's definitely a guy who knows how to play basketball. He knows how to play it the right way, and he's going to help this team win. He's a winner. And that's what he does. That's what he knows. He's going to help instill that winning culture into these young guys. One thing that I really liked that he said at Media Day was that, he's going to help show these guys what it takes to win, the little things to work on, just the extra work that you have to put in to take that next step in this league to become a winning team, a winning organization. But luckily we picked him up because I believe he's going to instill that in us as well. And I mean, who knows how long he's on this team. He's only 32 years old, so he's not washed by any means. So it's possible that, hey, we have this guy for maybe even a few more years, and, just if we do keep him for a few more years, he's obviously just going to bond more with our team and just be a big factor going forward for us. So what a great pickup, and I'm really excited about that. Numbers wise, looking at his stats, Barnes had his best back-to-back field goal percentage seasons in his career. His best back-to-back field goal percentage seasons in his career, shooting 47% in 2022 and shooting 47% in 2023. And that's a good percentage to shoot from the field. That's really good. So that means that even as he's getting older, he's still being able to contribute offensively. His shot is still there, and that's something that this team really needed. We needed shooters. We needed people that can score the ball, that can shoot it at a high percentage, and clearly he's not slowing down in that category. If we can get him, he's averaging 37.9% from the three. So if we can get him to keep that percentage, that's perfect. We don't need him. We really don't need him to make a big jump there. Last season he shot it at 38%. So if we can keep him right there, shooting at a high 30% from the three and a high 40% from the field. Those those are great numbers for him to maintain on this team, and those are contributing numbers. That's really going to help this team and really change our offense. Like, he's going to be able to score the ball for us, and that's, obviously last season there was a lot of times where we went on droughts, nobody could score. That's not going to be the case with Harrison Barnes on this team. For this season, if you know if the team's really clicking, I could see him averaging 14 to 15 points in the starting lineup. So he's got to be in the starting lineup, but I could see him averaging 14 to 15 in that starting lineup, simply because he has to be a bigger offensive contributor this season than he was back in Sacramento. We can expect him to get a lot of looks this season, and with those looks, he can average this 14 to 15 points. And averaging that obviously is keeping us competing. That's being a major contributor to the offensive end and for this team. So that would also put us in a good place. I can see that for sure happening this year. Most importantly, though, I can't wait till when we're in close games and we got him on the court, because I'm telling y'all, just remember this and look out for this. When it is crunch time in a close game, Harrison Barnes, Chris Paul on the court for us, we're going to be able to take care of the ball and make the right play. We're finally going to be able to get better looks instead of ending the game on a turnover or, on multiple turnovers. At least we're going to be able to get a look and a shot off. So, whether we win them or not, at least I think we're going to be able to get better looks for sure and have more opportunities to win those close games. And it's going to be less turnovers, obviously leading to less frustration from us fans. But really exciting stuff, and I can't wait to see him on the court. Next is our man Jeremy Sohan, who I have starting in our 4 spot. A continuance from last season, nothing new there, but I definitely see him being a huge part of our future. And this year, fans are really expecting a big jump from him. Especially if he wants to be here long term, he's gonna need to take that jump. But we have faith in him. He's a fan favorite. A lot of us fans have a lot of positivity that he is gonna get better. And with Chris Paul running the point guard for us and Jeremy not having to worry about playing an out of position spot, I think this year we're finally gonna see the true role that Sohan should play for us going forward, which I think is that forward spot. But we're really going to see the type of plays that we want to see from him going forward on this team. And with Chris Paul facilitating for us, he's going to finally have that opportunity to show us his true role. So really excited there for him. I'm really optimistic that he's going to make that jump. And one thing, he has the body type to be able to play, 75 to 82 games a season. He really does. He has the physique to be durable, and, going forward, we should see him in that 75 to 82 games a season range, and that would be great. That's what we need him at. Last year he played 74 games, so he only missed 8. So that's not too much. That's good there. If we can, stay on course, I think that's fine. That's a fine number. But yeah, he's gonna have to make big leaps in the shooting percentages, and I think that he will. I think that he definitely got in the gym this offseason and put in that work. I think he worked on a shot for sure. Even though there's not like footage of it out there and he didn't come out saying I specifically worked on my jump shot, like, it doesn't mean that he didn't do that. I'm very confident that he worked on his jump shot. And besides, from playing basketball, like, it's fun working on your jump shot. Like, that's just a fun practice. So I'm sure he had fun doing it, and it's easy to put in hard work to fix a jumper. And I think that he for sure did that, and we're going to see it this season. And he did already make leaps in his free throw percentage and his 3-point percentage this past season. from his rookie year. So that's a really good positive there. Looking at the 3-point percentage in 2022, he shot 24%. Last season, he leaped up by 6%, shooting 30% from the three. So, in order, being able to make a 6% leap in your 3-point percentage, is fantastic from one season to another. It's outstanding, actually. So, realistically, for this season, I think if we can get him at 35% from the three, fans will be satisfied. I think the organization and the team will be satisfied, and that will absolutely help lead us to winning. He's already shown that he can make a huge leap in his shooting. So 35% for this coming up season is not unrealistic. It's only a 5% increase, and I think that that would be a major contributor to us winning. From the free throw line, I think that's where we need to see major improvement as well. That one, everybody needs to be able to take a big leap there. Last season, he shot 77%. However, that may sound low. That was an 8% increase from his rookie season of 69%. So he can show improvement there in the free throw, at the free throw line. And he's already shown that. And we obviously saw that he had to start over from scratch with his shot using one hand only. But for him to be able to actually just drop his ego and be willing to start over from the beginning with his jump shot, I think that just shows incredible work ethic. And for him to not be embarrassed about it, I just think that shows great character from the guy. Great toughness, and something that he should be really proud of. I think this year he'll probably shoot the free throws with two hands. But honestly, I don't care how he shoots it, as long as we're shooting it at a high clip. And for this coming up season, I think we need him in the mid 80s. We need to see that 83, 85%. I mean, even 83 to me personally is unacceptable, but I'll be satisfied with 83 to 85%. We said Devin should be shooting 88%, who already has a better shot than Jeremy. So I don't really expect Jeremy this season to be shooting the same percentage from the free throw line as Devin, but 85% is really where he should be at this coming season. And that's going to be that will be the determination whether whether he took that leap that we all expected, and the leap that this team needs in order to be competing in the future. Field goal percentage wise, at his ceiling, we can get him at 49 to 50% from the field. That's great, because he doesn't take a lot of mid-range jumpers. That's not his game. So 49 to 50% is actually realistic. It's ideal, because a lot of his points should be coming off of cleaning the boards, a lot of backdoor cuts, pick and rolls, dunks, drives to the basket. Not a lot of jump shots at all, and then 3-point shots. But if he's not shooting a lot of mid-range jumpers, 49 to 50% from the field is where he really should be. Obviously, majority of those coming in the paint. But if he does incorporate that turnaround jumper where he drives to the basket, spins, and then takes that turnaround jumper, if he incorporates that, then it's okay if he shoots about 46 to 47%, because he's actually incorporating a jumper, a new move, just more versatility to his offensive game. And so I would be okay with that. If he's incorporating more to his game offensively, shooting 46 to 47 from the field is perfectly fine with me. If he's not, we need him at 49 to 50% in order to compete. Numbers wise, we need him to have a solid 15 to 17 points a game with 8 rebounds. And that's what we really need from him in order for this team to be competing for a playoff spot. And those, again, are numbers that are absolutely realistic. Last season, he averaged 6 rebounds a game. But remember, he did have the ball in his hand more last season, which he's not going to be expected to do this season. So he can focus a little bit more on rebounding. So 8 rebounds a game is perfect. Anything better than that, amazing. But 15 to 17 points a game, I think he can reach simply because, yeah, we have Chris Paul facilitating the offense. He's going to be able to make those passes that, Jeremy was not able to receive this past season. So we're going to see probably more backdoor cuts, more pick and rolls with Jeremy, and, just him getting the opportunity to score the ball more. So with that opportunity, 15 to 17 points keeps the Spurs competing, keeps us a tough, dangerous team, puts us in playoff position, I believe. Last season, he scored 11 points per game, which is the exact same as his rookie season. But we really want to see him make a jump there, and I think he will. And defensively, I don't see him slowing down this season. Hopefully, if anything, he just picks it up on the defensive end. He is one of our best defenders, so hopefully he's the type that, is going to be able to guard the other team's best player for us. That way, Wimby doesn't always have to rely on doing that, and it takes, obviously less pressure off of our smaller guys. But Sohan's a very, very versatile defender, can guard 1 through 5, and so hopefully he's able to really just pressure the ball, be able to be our best defender on the court, and hopefully he's able to be in some all defensive team talks this season. I think that would be great for us, something unexpected probably, but a great positive. So let's go, Jeremy. And finally, to end with San Antonio's new superstar, Victor Wembanyama, starting at the 5 position for us. That's where he is going to be. He's dominant at the 5, and that's really where we should put him. If we could find another big to put him at the 4 position in the future, cool. I'm all for it. But until then, I'm totally fine with Wemby playing the 5 for us. But we have big expectations for Wemby this season, year 2, and especially after winning silver medal in France. Wow. I mean, what we saw this summer from him, just the major improvements from the end of the NBA season straight into the Olympics, was incredible, unbelievable. Fans are definitely satisfied. We're excited for it. We're happy. We know he's going to have an incredible year, and that's good. We're starting the year off with a healthy Wemby, a stronger Wemby, a more skilled Wemby, more disciplined Wemby, and our team has more leadership in order to be able to lead him into winning, lead him into that greatness, and just hopefully we make playoffs this year. I think that we are, but major expectations for Wemby this year, and I'm without a doubt, I'm sure he's going to exceed our expectations just like he did his rookie year. I have no doubt about that, and I'm really excited to see him up close this season. I think this season, for me, the ultimate goal probably should be Defensive Player of the Year. Again, hopefully he exceeds my expectation to where he's in MVP talks. But I think most importantly, we really need him to stay in that Defensive Player of the Year talk. And I think this is the year that he should focus on winning that. And hopefully the voters don't mess it up this time, and aren't afraid to vote out of the norm, and have a rookie win a Defensive Player of the Year award when it's well deserved, clearly earned, and clearly would have been fair if he won it. So hopefully that doesn't happen this season, and hopefully this is the season where he wins Defensive Player of the Year, and hopefully it's the first of many. I know that's what we're all counting on. Numbers wise for Wemby, I think if we can have him averaging 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks a game, I think that keeps us competing, folks. And those numbers could possibly be very well on a 35-win team, which, again, 35 wins is still a major improvement from last season. Maybe cutting it close to making the play-in, and wouldn't have cut it last season, but we'll see what it takes this year. But I could see him averaging those numbers, which would be great, huge jumps. Last season, Wemby averaged 21 points, 3 blocks, and 10 rebounds. But Most importantly, too, we do need him to take jumps into his shooting percentages in all categories. But I think that he will. Obviously, he's he's been playing basketball all offseason, so we know he's been working on his game. No worries there. We have a healthy Wimby. No worries there. Exciting stuff. Everything that we're looking for. Couldn't be happier with that. Field goal percentage wise, he shot 46.5% this past season. We're gonna need him to shoot like 50%. And he can do that. The all star that he is, he can definitely shoot 50 plus percent, especially with the types of looks that he's able to get that no others are able to get around the rim. I don't see why he can't shoot 50%, especially once he finds his shot, his full, his final shooting form. Once he finds that, I think we're gonna see it, 50 plus percent shooting from the field. Last season, 32.5% from the 3-point line. We need major improvement there. I know a lot of fans weren't pleased with the amount of 3-point shots that he took and the type of 3-point shots that he took. But in my opinion, I think that's going to be part of his game, and I'm totally okay with that because he's has the shooting capability to be a big that's able to shoot a lot of threes and make them. Again, it's just all about finding his rhythm, his final form, just working on that. And once that clicks, I can see the 3-point game just being a big part of his skill set, which is going to give teams major trouble. Like, I think that Wimby should work on his 3-point percent shooting, keep that in his hat of tricks. And I think that once he becomes lethal from the three, that like we're gonna kill teams, and there's just nothing you're gonna be able to do to stop him because he's, as we saw last season, he's able to shoot it from deep. So honestly, don't be surprised if he takes a couple of logo shots this year, especially with having that increased strength. Knowing his spots more on the court. I wouldn't expect um, I wouldn't expect us not to see a couple of logo shots from him. Just a couple though, nothing crazy, nothing Steph Curry like, but a couple, yeah, why not? Test your range, find your rhythm. I'm all for that. Uh, I think that he should that step back, um, 3-point shot that he has. Like, I think he should keep that in his bag for sure. Like, that's something he should work on. It's unguardable. Nobody's ever going to be able to block it. And if he can nail that, like, oh my gosh, y'all, like, what can't he do? You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay with him shooting threes and working on that and keeping that part of his game. There's many other things too that he's going to be able to do. And, as long as he's not just sticking to the 3-point shot, I think everybody will be perfectly fine with that if he continues to shoot from three. But if he's only shooting 32%, that's really bad, and we really need him shooting a high 30%. High 30% if he wants to shoot 5-3. If he wants to shoot 5 threes a game, yeah, he's gonna have to shoot much higher than 32%. Free throw line, another place of improvement that we need to see from him, majorly as well. Shot 79% from the free throw line. I think, we're gonna need him at 88%. He has the stroke to actually, to stay in the high 80s, possibly get that 90% range from free throw. He has the stroke for that. So, hopefully that's something that he worked on. I know he'll continue to work on it throughout his career. So, I do expect to see improvement there for us to compete and for him to like really take that next step though, and to really be in like MVP talks. He's gonna have to be shooting it at a high 80%, and obviously with that comes just that's gonna improve his points per game. Missing almost like 21% of your free throws, and he's already scoring 21 points a game. Like, he could have averaged 25 points in his rookie season, like, golly, that's incredible. So more good news is, we can expect a big jump from Wimby this season, which is crazy to say if, thinking about all the stuff that he did last season. But, with Chris Paul at the helm, Just imagine the things that Wemby's going to be able to do, and the the new spots in the court that Wemby's going to be able to take advantage of. And yeah, I expect those two to really just come running out the gate, honestly. I'm calling it right now. I think our first play of the game is going to be a pick and roll CP3 lob to Wemby for a dunk. I think that's going to be our very first points of the season, and boom, those two are really just going to mesh right away. Really excited. There's just so many moves that Wemby can do that, I mean, once he incorporates all these things into his game, like, just imagine how dominant he's going to be on the Spurs, because he's going to be a Spur. Just imagine how dominant Spurs are going to be when, once he's got his full bag. Incredible to even think about right now. Really excited. But that's what we have today for the starting lineup. Hope you folks enjoyed it. This is just what I see as our future potential long-term lineup when healthy. And man, just like really excited. That media day just really got me more hyped, more pumped for the season. Everybody just saying the right things. Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Next week is the beginning of preseason basketball. Oh my gosh, it's here, y'all. It is here, and we are ready. So October 9th, I will be at the Orlando Magic preseason game with the Spurs, and that's when we'll be getting our first fan interviews for the show. Really excited. I cannot wait. I've been waiting for this all season. A lot of fans already just connecting online with us. Just saying, hey, we'd love to be on the show. We'd love to be interviewed at the game. Just let us know. And we're really happy to hear that from people. And I'm just happy to have everybody on the show. Any and everybody is welcome. No credentials or nothing needed. Like, this is just for the fans. So excited to get some interviews next week for next week's episode. Next week's episode, we'll be talking about the role players and what we expect out of them this season. And with those fan interviews, we'll be able to hear what they expect out of this lineup and out of the team this season. And that's it for us for today, folks. Thank you so much for joining. Be sure to keep up with GSG Nation on X at GSG Nation Talk, on Instagram and TikTok at GSG Nation, and subscribe to GSG Nation on YouTube. Remember, go Spurs, go!